Retire? Me? No way. What would I do with myself? I would be so bored. I'm a workaholic and I'm going to work until I drop. That's what I said to myself like 10, 15 years ago. I was a workaholic and proud of it. And the prospect of not being able to work kind of it's like I felt a sense of dread. Well, look at me now, retired, happy, whole. I'm going to take you on a journey of how I came to be here, how I had that mind shift from there to now, from then to now. If you're curious, hang on, don't go anywhere. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Maggie Lazar. I am a retired nurse practitioner, and I have been happily retired here in Panama 3 years now. I recently celebrated my third anniversary. I am very grateful to be here in this space. All right, I'm going to talk about the things that I had to embrace in this new time, in this new season of retirement. I have been retired now for 5 years. I retired at age 62 and I'm 60, well, more than that, 62, I'm 67. Yeah, 5 years. You know how we all have bought into the lie that our own personality is woven into our careers, what we do. Our identity is tied to the type of work that we do. So for me, the idea of not working, I was an entrepreneur, a nurse manager. I've held a lot of different positions, done a lot of things. And the idea that I would just stop working, because that is what retirement is quitting work and do what? My definition of retirement is you're no longer working for a paycheck. So if you're doing work that you love, if you're an entrepreneur, you cannot use the word retirement because somebody had said, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life, right? Well, I can't say that I've been that lucky, but I have been an entrepreneur. But for whatever reason, life was lifing. I ended up having to go back to work, get another degree, work as a nurse practitioner until I stopped and said no. Now, I don't have time in this video to explain to you the day I decided to retire, and early, mind you. I'll do another video about that. But this video is about the things I had to learn to embrace as a retiree in retirement that looks so different for what I envisioned. All right. The first thing I had to embrace is my new identity. This was not easy. As I just said, my whole persona was wrapped around Maggie, the nurse, Maggie, the nurse practitioner, Maggie, the person who was the first woman chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, Maggie, who was the first Black person to hold that position, Maggie, who's out there, but nursing being the core of what I did. What would I do? Who would I be if I were not a nurse or doing something nursing related? And I tried. I went to Ghana, Africa, and even in Rwanda, I was thinking of opening an assisted living and caring for older folks because I'm a gerontologist at heart. I study aging. That is my specialty. Well, that didn't work. So I had to create a new persona outside of nursing. The other reason I had to do that is that after I retired, I was pretty sure I was going to be doing something remotely related to nursing in a remote capacity, but none of that panned out. I applied for different positions. Most employers want you to be local, even though you might be working remotely, more of a hybrid kind of thing. You need to come into the office for a couple of days. You couldn't be fully remote. So my license, my nursing licenses by my RN and my ARNP, I'm probably going to have to let them go. We can do another video about the letting go part. Even though most people, friends, colleagues will say, don't let your license go. What do you do with it? If I'm not in the environment, I won't feel comfortable or competent in my role. So I had to create a new persona, the Maggie, the non-nurse Maggie, the Maggie who is a YouTuber now. Never thought of that in my wildest dream. I was always a teacher, an encourager, and I got to do that. Maggie the cook. I've always loved to cook. Had gone to culinary school, ran a restaurant cafe for a couple of years. I'm not doing that in a work capacity, but I am able to merge my creative content with my cooking, and that is a blessing. So my persona is constantly evolving, and I had to adjust to it and embrace it. All right. The second thing I had to do was acknowledge and embrace a new lifestyle. I told you I'm a workaholic. I'm still a workaholic. But when you don't have to work for someone for a paycheck, and you don't have to listen to someone telling you to do something one way when you know you could do it better the other way, it's different. You struggle with it when you're transitioning from working for someone to not working at all and not working for someone. I have to acknowledge that, okay, I'm not working full time. I did some teaching for a little while and absolutely loved it, but I was committed to coming to Panama, so I couldn't stay back there. And again, they were not open to an online type of arrangement. So I had to find something to fill my life. Creating content for you guys takes time. To edit videos, learning YouTube all by myself. Although I did take a couple of courses from Stephanie Perry, that was helpful, but a lot of it is self-taught. Realizing that there is a possibility you could make a little bit of money doing this, but that was not the main motivator. The motivator was to inspire others to do what I did, which is what SWRA is all about. Being committed to creating a model of aging for me and for the sisters where we can create community and take care of each other. That keeps me busy. So my life has evolved from working for someone for a paycheck to engage, I don't say work, engage in activities that is creative and fulfilling. All right, so we've already gone over 2 points. If you enjoy my content, I invite you to like the video, share it with as many friends as possible, and subscribe to the channel. There is also a picture of a bell. Click on that so that you're going to be notified every time I come on, when I release a new video or when I go live, which is every Saturday and sporadically throughout the week. I have a lot of impromptu lives that I do. And people seem to like those. You know, they're spontaneous because you, my audience, I share my life with you. I mean, I don't let you see every little thing, but I do. So let's go back to see what are some challenges in retirement and what do people think of when they think of retirement? I don't know about you. When I was working, and it was like there was no way I could even fathom not working. I enjoyed it. It filled my soul. I love to work. And of course, nursing is a profession I know we're in mourning because we just lost a nurse. But nursing is a profession that is so fulfilling because I always feel that regardless of the challenges, the paperwork, the bureaucracy, the mean boss, the very violent, ungrateful patients and family members, but those of us who are committed, or those of us who see it as a vocation and not just a job, we get the satisfaction by knowing that we're touching people's lives. And I was good at it and I loved it. I love my patients. It wasn't easy. So as I said, the thought of being away from it kind of was like something I could not even imagine. And on a macro scale, when you think of retirement in the US, which is where I lived, it was like most people that I know, that I knew were thinking of retirement would say, oh, we're going to buy an RV. We're going to travel throughout the country. We're going to see the country. We're going to visit all the grandchildren. But a lot of times, something happens. Maybe somebody gets sick and they don't get to live out that dream. Another thing that to consider in retirement is that the majority of people who retire in the US are not quite ready financially. I think I was looking at some figures from a publication or a business called Wealth Enhancement. They are financial advisors, and I get they got the data from polling their clients. 48% of their clients said they were ready to retire. And you know, the financial advisors would tell you if you want to keep the same lifestyle that you used to, you're going to need this much. And it's in the millions, not in the hundreds of thousands. But what is the reality? Most of us don't have that kind of money. I lost a lot of my money when I opened my restaurant. A lot of the money I made from selling my business, my home care company, got swallowed up in that. But you know what I always say? I say it was my money and I had it. I could lose it. I took a chance, I took a risk. No one gets to become successful without taking risks. And I am a risk taker. So the majority of people are not financially ready based on the parameters set by the financial advisors. A lot of them worry about running out of money when they retire. And 18% of the people who responded had no idea. They didn't have any financial goal. They were just going with the motions. And you all know Social Security is based on how much you made and how long you paid into the system. So I think the average was like $1,900, maybe $2,000 a month. And if you live in the US, that doesn't take you far. If you have a house, repair, insurance, food, car, maintenance, gas, medications. All right. Our fire alarm is being tested, so please ignore it if you hear it. So that $2,000 doesn't go far enough to maintain your lifestyle. So most people end up having to downsize, meaning they would maybe sell their homes and move to like a mobile home, which is a lot of my patients did. Today, I have had to adjust my lifestyle. So if you're thinking of retirement and in your mind, you're thinking, I need to keep the same lifestyle, meaning I need to live in that big house. I need to have the cars and go out to eat and all the insurance. You're not going to be able to make it. Because remember, I'm a baby boomer. And those of us who have reached this age, we are retiring at the rate of 10,000 per day. 10,000 per day. And there's a number that was floating around saying that 75 million of baby boomers will retire by 2030. Well, you know, when I used to think of 2030, I used to think, oh my God, that's so far away. It's right around the corner. This is 2026. So retirement is a scary proposition for most people. And the government keeps kicking the can saying, oh, you need to increase, you need to work longer. Because listen, Social Security needs people working to pay into it so they can pay you, pay us. Two challenges. Not enough people are paying into the program, and we are living longer. When Social Security was enacted, it was with the idea that we're going to pay maybe 5, maybe 10 years. Now we're living past 90, 100. If you start collecting at age 65, that's like 30, 35 years of Social Security payments. No wonder they say it's going bankrupt, right? So you cannot fully depend on Social Security. And I think everybody's told you that. I don't know whether you paid attention, but that shouldn't be the only source of income for you in retirement. All right. We know the little people, the little older ones, 80s, bagging groceries at Walmart. I don't think anybody willingly does it, even though there is no shame in work, right? I don't believe that. But most likely they're doing it so they can offset some other costs. So the idea in the mind of most people is that, yeah, you shouldn't have to do that because in their mind, retirement means no work. Well, I had to change my mindset that I might have to work in retirement. And before you say anything, I don't want you to feel like it is a negative or it is that you're poor or because you don't have enough income. Yes, you may be working in retirement because you need to supplement your income, but it's also because work keeps you productive. It keeps your mind working. And this is something I had to embrace. This is a concept I hope you embrace. All right. Now that I've painted the picture for you to see how difficult it is from a financial standpoint to retire, and the notion that you had years ago that retirement means we're going to sit in that rocking chair, we're going to sip some iced tea and listening to some country music, and then this is going to be it. Or you could say, I'm just going to travel, 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 travel. Well, I don't know about you. That would get old for me. So that's why you have to know thyself. I met a woman here in Panama. I was sitting next to her at an event and I was saying what I did. She's like, oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to do any work. All I want to know is where am I going to eat lunch tomorrow? Where am I going to go here? In her mind, retirement is just fun, 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 fun. Know thyself. I cannot be that kind of retiree. I am not that kind of retiree. All right, let's go back to some of the things I had to learn in retirement and learn to embrace, not just, sit there and say, oh, well, this is the way it is. That kind of, mentality, oh, we're just going to put up with it because we don't have any other option. No, no. Embracing a notion, a concept is a positive move to acceptance of the new concept. Not that you just like sitting back and you don't have a choice, right? You're kind of a victim of the circumstances. No, no, I don't think like that. And I am not that kind of retiree. Now, look at me, right? Retired, happy, healthy. We embrace that. Okay? All right. Let's go back to our list. Remember, I have 10 for you. Number 3, I had to learn to embrace a slower pace of life. Listen, I'm a workaholic. I'm working 8, 10-hour days. When I had my restaurant, it was 10, 12-hour days. I had mastered multitasking, family, children, after school programs, church, leadership in church, church activities. School? Who said you had to go back to school? Oh, yeah. You're a high achiever. You had to go get the degree. Oh, this is so cute. I should have taken a picture of that. I never know when they're coming, otherwise I would have. I had mastered all those skills and I reveled in them. I just And the feedback you're getting from society is like, wow, you got it together, Maggie. You can multitask. You're doing this. Your kids are this. Your house is clean. Yeah, killing yourself in the process. So now that I don't have to do all that, I look around my house and I'm like, yeah, I need to do laundry. I'll do it when I feel like it. Get up in the morning. I used to never be able to stay in bed because it was like my body clock was turned on and I had to get up and do something. But now I'm cool playing on my phone, even though that's not a good habit, but I could be in bed till 10 o'clock because I can. I don't schedule myself too much. No, I stay busy. A lot of people would say, I thought you were free retired. Why are you doing all this? Because I want to, not because I have to. There's a difference. And if sometime I wake up and I'm like, you know what? Today is going to be a veggie day because I've been doing too much on the computer. I need to just chill for the day. And I choose to stay in my pajamas. A slower pace of life. I don't need to go here, go there. I choose what I do. I choose my activities. Like I said, one activity per day. Like I went a couple of places today and I said, I'm going home. I'm not going to Albrook Mall. That's for another day. A slower pace of life. Sitting on the balcony, watching people go by, going to the mall, getting a cup of coffee and sit and watch people. That's a slower pace of life. And I'm not a victim. I'm not doing it because I don't have anything to do. I'm doing it because I want to. I am the designer of my life and my time, and I embrace the change. Number 4, I had to embrace the financial reality of retirement. I told you I lost a lot of money. I have enough to live comfortably, but I am not pressured to live like the folks who live on Paitilla and have the 4,000 square foot homes. I refuse to put that pressure on me. I have downsized. I mean, I have a 2-bedroom apartment, even though sometimes I think it's too much. But I like the view and the area, so I kind of wrestle with staying going. But the financial reality is that I am not independently wealthy. I cannot get up and go to do multiple trips a year. I do maybe 1 or 2 a year, and that's good. I can do some staycations. I can do closer, Colombia. I went to Peru. I can do those. I have no desire to go back to Europe. I did my European tour in the 90s, early 2000s, and I'm good. Been to France, UK. I've done that. I don't have any desire to go over the ocean and be on a plane for 14, 18, 30 plus hours. No, no bueno, not for me. So the financial reality is, yes, I'm limited in what I can do, but what I can, I enjoy it. Do you enjoy when you go on a very simple trip, sis? Do you enjoy when you go somewhere and you're having a simple meal? You enjoy every bite? Isn't that lovely? Are you embracing it, or do you feel like you're a victim of the circumstances? It's a mind shift. It's a mindset, sis. Number 5, I had to embrace the financial threats and insecurity. We already said that it is recommended that you do not only depend on Social Security in retirement, right? Whether you have investment, you need to be sure you invested, so you're getting some dividends and a little bit, some coins. Now we know what's going on in the world. Everything is so insecure. There, every single year, whatever the administration comes politically, there's always talk about doing something to Social Security, even though we paid into it. But hey, nothing is secure these days. Everybody can do what they want to do to you, to me. It's a power grab. So what I tell myself and my sisters is that we need to find ways to create more income for us so we do not 100% rely on Social Security just in case something happens to it. I've seen I'm of the thought that maybe they're not going to cut it because what's going to happen to millions of us who depend on Social Security. But they can definitely cut benefits. I don't know. So we have to embrace the reality that you may not want to work a little bit, but you may have to. And when you find yourself say, okay, yes, oh, I didn't think I would have to work in retirement, change your mindset, sis. It's not drudgery. No one is, twisting your hand to make you do that. You just need a little bit. Manage your lifestyle, manage your expectations. And then a simple life is still a good life, a peaceful life. So most of us here in this town, we have a little something we're doing on the side. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you buy gifts for your grandkids if you have grandkids. But look at your surrounding. Look at your expenses and what can you do to cut some of that? And for our SWRA meeting in February, we're going to be talking about that. How can you manage what you have and then invest to make a little bit of money? Embrace it. Get rid of the mentality that you're a victim. No, that's not going to get you anywhere. Number 6, embrace the need to create a new vision for yourself. Wow, I think I've done that. I'm a visionary. I'm a creative person in that sense. Now, I can't draw. I tried to play the piano for years and I sucked at it. My sister used to say, when are you going to give us a concert, sis? Yeah, she was trying to be funny, but at least I tried. But I like to create things. I haven't been that successful at a lot of things, but I'm enjoying the process. I have enjoyed the process. So a new vision for me was something that I feel like I have accomplished is in creating SWRA. In researching and trying to create a place for me to age in place with services around me that are not going to break the bank. And then creating that single women retiring abroad. I still don't know how I came up with that name, but when I get messages from people, when I bump into somebody in the street and they say, oh my God, we watch you. You have no idea how much you've helped us. Yesterday, I spoke to a sister and she's like, thank you for making us feel like we can do this because the fear can be paralyzing. Having a vision for something that is bigger than you, so rewarding, so rewarding. And I think with the SWRA, I have created that. And the vision keeps expanding because I'm able to match my love of cooking with that. I've done a couple of ebooks, never thought I could do that. I'm doing consultation online, never thought I could do that. I'm teaching Spanish, never thought I could do that. Yes, it's creating a little bit of income on the side, but it's also for me, for my self-improvement, for my peace of mind, to keep myself from, dying slowly. If you don't use your mind, you're going to lose it. So being creative is something that has been helpful to me. This is what retirement is. Retirement is not that you're going to sit around and sipping margarita or iced tea, like I said. You can do a lot more than that. And what I tell the sisters is that if you retire in your 60s, 62, if I live to be 90, that's almost 30 more years. That's the second career for you. I wouldn't say it's the second half of your life because you've already lived to be 60, so it's like the two-third. Here in Panama, they call tercera edad, the third age for people who've reached women 55, women, men 60. That's the retirement age. Once you pass that, they call that time tercera edad. Yeah, you could say it's the third part of your life. It is indeed. And does that mean you just sit and do nothing for that time? No. Embrace the newness of things, the opportunity to create, to reinvent yourself. And it could be something that is totally different than what you've done in the past. No relation. If there is some relationship, great. If not, recreate something, make something up, something new. AI. We have a sister who's 79. She's probably going to be 80 now, 77. I think I'm aging her. But she just created her YouTube channel and she's an AI person. I'm not an AI person. I use ChatGPT. That's probably it. And every day you hear this ad. Oh, stop using ChatGPT or Canva like you're a kid. Well, I'm a kid. But the opportunities to create are endless. So embrace it, sis. Number 7, embracing a dynamic lifestyle. Now, this one wasn't too hard for me because I was always dynamic. I'm not trying to be humble or anything. I like to do multiple things. And, like I said, I had mastered the art of multitasking, even though research shows it's not good for your brain to keep firing. I still do that a little bit, but I try to minimize that. When I'm doing something, I like to concentrate, do it, and finish it, and then go to the next project. That's a better way to go. But a dynamic lifestyle means to me that I'm not going to sit and rot in a chair. When I'm working on the computer and I feel like I'm sitting here for 3, 4 hours, oh, I get up and I walk around. I make myself get up because, a sedentary lifestyle is a risk factor for so many things, bad things, not good things. So I like the fact that I have a lot going on. I have SWRA. We do monthly meetings. I create the quarterly tea. I'm teaching Spanish. I have up to 3 or 4 classes, so I'm interacting with the sisters. I'm creating ebooks. I did 2 ebooks. Now I need to work on my cookbook, right? So actually, my challenge is not to be too dynamic. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, Maggie, you need to slow down. Okay, finish one thing before you do another one. Now I decided to do an event at my house on Fridays once a month. Well, that adds. I do the cooking show on Sundays. I do a live on Saturday. Listen, I am pretty dynamic and darn proud of it. Darn proud of it, and I've embraced it. Number 8, embracing the importance of community. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I came to Panama alone, knowing no one, I had to create community. So creating SWA has helped that. But I know I need to do more. I have to reach out to the locals to get support. Community is important. And again, it's the attitude. It's not drudgery. It's not because, oh, I need to get community. No, I embrace you, my sister. Come on in. Let's have coffee. Are you okay? Last week, I took one of our sisters out because she was a little bit in the dump, and I'm like, let's go. Community. And of course, you're hoping that when you're in need, the same people will reach out to you, but don't be surprised if they don't. That's why you need to throw your net wide so you can catch some fish, because not every fish is going to become. Listen, just because I'm dynamic and I'm doing multiple things, I know I am dealing with the human element and that some people are just special. That's the reality of life. Life be lifing, right? So embracing community in a positive way, positive fashion. Number 9. So are you enjoying this talk? I forgot to tell you again to like, share, subscribe. Come on, I'll wait. 2 more points to go. Those are kind of heavy. Number 9, I had to learn to embrace the aging and progressive decline of the human body. Now, yes, I know I look okay. I look pretty good for my age, and I give the Almighty thanks and my mom, my grandparents for the genes that I have and have inherited from them. But lifestyle, attitude, mindset, physical, mental health, all those contribute to aging. Aging is a privilege. To live to a certain age, I mean, yes, I've done a few things, but some people have done good things and still did make it to my age. So I consider myself blessed and highly favored. But at the same time, I always say, and some people get upset when I say, well, you know, your car, the analogy, your body and a car where the parts starts falling off, need to be replaced, you know, your knees, your hips, your shoulders. The wear and tear is real. I don't care, you know, people get upset when I say that. I don't care how many injections you have under your eyes. I remember being at the mall and people, come on, senora, come on, senora, put that thing under my eye and then it's stretching. It's like, oh. She wanted me to buy it for $300. And I'm like, no, ma'am. I said, at the time, I said, I'm 65. I don't need that. Mm-mm. By the time I was going home, a little under eye bag had just popped back, right back. So the aging process doesn't stop. Yes, I have asked God that several times. Why do we have to age? What did we do? Why do we have to age? I haven't heard the answer yet. But we do. Everybody goes through it, and everybody is going to die. And a lot of us are going to return to our infancy where we can't do this. Somebody has to support us. If you're in bed, somebody has to turn you, change your diaper, feed you. I pray to God I don't get to that point, but hey, it's the human element. And the sooner you learn to accept that this is what waiting for you down the line, the easier it's going to be for you. Those of you who pretend, I see people out there, you know, in the gym for 8 hours running. Sometimes I see them running and I'm ready to grab because I feel they're going to fall over. Be wise how you treat this aging body, but it is that. It's aging. It's like a car is going down. You can either choose positivity when you're going through it, or you could choose negativity. I choose positivity. I do what I can to maintain this body, but sometimes I'm like, okay, this is embracing cis in a positive way. And the last point, I had to learn to embrace the finality of life. This is not meant to be morbid, but isn't that where we're all heading? Look at this young man, 37 years old, lost his life trying to do something good. When you walk out that door, you don't know what's waiting for you. And even when I was in the US, I didn't feel safe, even in my own home, because I know somebody could burst into there and say I look like somebody and shoot first and ask questions later. I can go to the store and somebody goes down the aisle looking for someone who looks like me. I could get hit by a truck, a car. Listen, you're traveling on those planes, you may not come down. The finality of life, it takes wisdom. You have to accept what you cannot change. It is determined for men once to die. We all have our designated time. We don't know when it's coming, but what is sure, somebody said, there are only two sure things in life, death and taxes. So, sis, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. You know, I like to think a little bit more deeply. Retirement is not what I thought it was going to be. What I had in mind was working until I'm 80, 85, not because I needed to, but because I thought that's what I needed to feel my soul, my life. And then I had to have a paradigm shift, a shift in my thinking that said, okay, I did this in my previous life. Now the doors are opening and I have an opportunity to do so many different things. And I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started, but I am enjoying the process. I am enjoying being creative, coming up with ideas, because you know what? I don't have to answer to anybody. And my food doesn't depend on kissing somebody's you know what so I can keep my job. No, I do it because I want to. And there is freedom in that. So learn to embrace what life is giving you. If you cannot change it, embrace it. Embrace it, sis. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. God loves you. You know I love you. Au revoir, à la prochaine, bonne journée, bye.